What up, everybody? Just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who's supported Lockdown Universe for the past 3 years. I really appreciate you. And if you've been thinking about a way to support, but you didn't have $1.99 to support for each month, that is okay. If you want to just buy me a coffee, there's an option for you to just buy me a coffee inside the description of each episode moving forward. So just highlight that, put it in your browser. You can go right there and buy me a coffee or 2 or 3. I like coffee. Who doesn't? And I would really appreciate it. And it would keep me awake enough to make more podcasts for you guys. So I would appreciate that. And just wanted to let you know. Thanks for that. And thanks for supporting the podcast. Let's get to the show. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. Tonight, my friends, I have an interesting one. It's mostly theory, but I wanted to see what you guys would do in an instance where you're living out. Picture this. You're living out in a remote area. You have a little bit of farmland or just country or whatever the case. Doesn't have to be farm, just a country area. You don't have any neighbors for a few miles. And all of a sudden one night you hear this smash in the backyard. Feels like an earthquake, but you're not 100% sure what the heck it is. So you go back there and you find 3 or 4 aliens with a crashed ship in the back of your yard. What would you do? What would you do? Let's say, for a moment, you don't know what's going on. It could be military. It could be aliens. It could be an asteroid. You don't know until you see those aliens. And all of a sudden you see these aliens and they're around their crashed ship. And there's not much fire, not much smoke, so there's nothing to really give it away. And they're looking at you and you're looking at them and you're a little bit confused. And all of a sudden they start to communicate with you telepathically. They say, "We mean you no harm. We were here to observe. We're not going to do anything to you. We merely need a place to stay while we wait for the next closest ship to come and transport us off the planet. And we'll leave." And you sit there and you ponder for a moment. And you think, what should I do right now? Should I call 911 and it goes right to the sheriff's office? And you got a million cops in your backyard? Do you call the FBI? Do you call the CIA? Who do you call? Ghostbusters? Or do you keep it quiet? Well, if you're listening to this podcast and you're a UFO enthusiast, chances are you're definitely not going to call the government because they're going to come out and you're probably going to get whisked off into like some freaking black ops site and they're going to try to probably brainwash you or use the Men in Black, mind eraser on you or something. So chances are you're going to keep quiet. Chances are you're going to say, hey, telepathically to the aliens, hey, it's okay. You're fine. How long is it going to be? They give you an estimate. Maybe a couple hours. Okay, cool. Let's chill. Maybe you sit down. You hang out around the fire. Keep them warm. The government hasn't come yet, and it's been about, maybe 30 minutes. They haven't come yet. Usually they'd be there by now. So now you're thinking, well, maybe we're safe. So you sit there. You have a little communication with them. You start talking about their home planet, about their society, about their technology, about why they're here observing us. Maybe they tell you a little bit about their genetic farming. Maybe they tell you why they're doing the genetic farming. Maybe it's to save their race, or maybe it's to create a race to help them defend against another race. Whatever the case is, you sit and listen, and you learn about humanity's history as well. As much as they know, they relay to you. And now you have a much greater understanding of where humanity comes from and our place in our little neck of the woods in the galaxy. Now they tell you, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for allowing us to be here and not telling on us. And for that, we're going to share some technology with you. Not for your government, just for you. And maybe they give you something. Maybe it's a rod off of their ship, or maybe it's something as cool as the Yellow Cube or the Yellow Book that can predict your own individual future or the holder's own individual future as they hold it. Whatever that piece of technology is, you thank them. You say it was a nice visit. I appreciate you guys not abducting me. And I wish you well. And I wouldn't mind communicating with you in the future as well, telepathically. And they agree. They say anytime you need us, just think about us and we can communicate with you telepathically. This begins the beautiful relationship that you have with these beings. But they give you this technology so that you can maybe understand a little bit more about where they come from. And let's say it is the Yellow Cube, but not only is it the Yellow Cube, it's also a history book on their society and the societies that they have observed. What do you do with this information? This is a big question because it could have big implications one way or another. You can either use it for good or you could use it for evil, right? You could use it for good, teach yourself about it, then teach your children, then teach anyone in ufology that's willing to listen. But maybe if you start putting it out into public, maybe the government understands, hey, this guy knows something that no one else in ufology would know or ever guess. And then the government starts to come out and harass you. That might be a problem, right? So you have this big dilemma on your hands. Do you disseminate this information through the internets, if you will? Maybe tell a few stories on TikTok. Maybe you tell a few stories on Facebook and you write them down. Maybe you get them published somewhere. But what about the future? Who do you entrust this technology to? Do you give it to your children as you're passing on and entrust them and teach them what to do with it in the future? Because they are at risk if you give it to them in the future, right? They are at risk if the government hasn't fully come out and said, hey, this is the story, and fully disclosed everything. And even if they do fully disclose everything, if they have something as powerful as the Yellow Cube or some other piece of technology that can give vast amounts of information about observations of an alien race amongst many planets, that's going to be a huge piece of defense and offensive technology, really, because knowledge is power, right? So what do you do? Do you keep it a secret, keep your children safe, or do you give it to your children in trusting that they won't endanger their own lives or they endanger the lives of your grandchildren? It's a really big question, and I don't know as if anybody would really know what to do in that scenario. But it's something that I've thought about. And it's something that I think it bears interest and bears enough questions to think about. Because it may happen one day, and it has happened in the past. It happened on the Brazel farm, right? And and that happened in 1947, and they had the I-bars, the I-beams from the ship with the what appeared to be hieroglyphic-like language written on it. So it's just one piece of technology that they had that wasn't even as deep as something like the Yellow Cube or any other informational technology. Think about that. And some of those pieces were passed on through their generations, not given to the government. So what would you do in that case? I wonder. I'm going to leave the comment section open on the Spotify podcast for this one. I want to see what you guys think. I'll put up a little video on TikTok, see what folks think up there. And I'm fascinated on this one. I'm going to try to gather up a little bit more info, but I'm going to try to wrap it up shortly.
Well, whatever you decide to do, make sure you do it wise. And I hope I give you guys something to think about, something to chew on. But I wish you guys nothing but the best tonight. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally. Follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. Take care of your loved ones. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. You never know. If you pull out that metal detector, you may find some crashed alien tech. Love you guys. Lockdown Universe out.